In an African village far, far away, ancient legends told tales of shape-shifting beings, whispered by the elders and passed down through generations. In this enchanted setting, we meet Sia, a humble hunter. One day, as he moved through the vibrant forest, his ears caught the beautiful sound of a haunting song. Curious, he followed the sound, each note drawing him deeper into the heart of the forest. The song, both familiar and foreign, carried a tormenting seduction, calling Sia like a siren call. Finally, he emerged into a clearing. And there, bathed in the soft glow of the sun, stood a vision of beauty that was Belisa. As Sia approached, he smiled. "My apologies, I heard the beautiful song and I had to find its source," he stammered. Belisa, with a knowing smile, greeted him gracefully, extending her hand in a gesture of friendship. "I am Belisa," she said, her voice soft and gentle. "It is a pleasure to meet you." And in that moment, as their eyes met, amidst the scenic beauty of the forest, a spark ignited between them, a connection that transcended language and defied explanation. What Sia did not know is that Belisa the snake girl had been silently following him for months, planning their meeting to exactly this very moment. You are watching the Tales of the Savannah. Subscribe and be part of the tribe. Now, let's get back to the story. In the hidden depths of their secret meetings, Belisa and Sia's bond grew stronger. One day, as they lingered beneath the trees, Sia broke the silence. "We've been meeting in secret for a while now. I'd love to introduce you to my friends. They laugh at me, thinking you're a creation of my dreams." Belisa's heart skipped a beat, a flicker of anxiety crossing her face. She wished he hadn't shared her existence with others. "So you have told your friends about me?" she hesitantly inquired, wanting to confirm his earlier statement. "Yes," Sia laughed, his eyes filled with amusement, "and I want you to meet my family as well. Besides, meeting so deep in the forest is dangerous for both of us." Leaning closer, Sia lowered his voice, revealing a local legend whispered among the villagers. "There's a tale of snake people in these very forests," he confided. "They say no man has ever seen them and lived to tell the tale." Belisa burst into laughter, a melody that echoed through the trees. "Is that what the humans are saying these days?" she thought, amused by the folklore surrounding her kind. Unbeknownst to Sia, part of the legend held truth, but the reality of the snake people was far different from these tales. They abided by a code, refraining from mingling with humans beyond their birth families. Consuming human flesh was forbidden. The human blood was like a poison to them, that induced madness in the culprit. In ancient times, as the snake people rose to power, humans, desperate and fearing their potential domination, turned to the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and wild animals for help. Faced with the ruthless snake people who hunted and consumed humans, the goddess heeded the prayers of the desperate humans. In response, a new gene emerged and was passed down through generations. The gene of the hunters. These hunters were not ordinary marksmen. In those days, they were giants with a singular purpose: to annihilate the snake people. The goddess, in her benevolence, made the blood of humans poisonous to the snake people, turning the tide of the ancient battle. The once dominant snake people dwindled in numbers as they sought refuge in caves and jungles. In the present day, the hunters persist in their quest. When a sighting of the snake people was reported, they descended upon the location, their purpose clear: to protect humanity from the ancient beings who once posed a threat. Some with the hunter gene, however, remained unaware of their legacy, but make no mistake, they were formidable guardians, unknowingly laying in wait, their natural instincts a real threat to the snake people. As Belisa gazed into Sia's eyes, a swirl of conflicting emotions turned within her. The connection they shared was undeniable, and she couldn't deny the warmth that blossomed in her heart whenever he was near. Yet, a profound sense of caution whispered in the recesses of her ancient instincts. As Sia spoke about his village life, Belisa couldn't help but smile, savoring every fleeting moment. His words, the rhythm of his laughter, and the earnestness in his eyes held an enchanting power over her. Love, a feeling she thought she had long transcended, unfolded like a flower within her ancient heart. In the quiet corners of her mind, Belisa wrestled with the dangerous game she played. Yet, for now, she reveled in the stolen moments, captivated by the human experience she had chosen to embrace. One day, Belisa paced along the narrow path to their usual meeting spot, rehearsing the words that would break Sia's heart. "Sia, it's over," she muttered, but the abruptness of the phrase struck her as too harsh. "Sia, we've come to the end of the road," she tried, cringing. Each line felt wrong, failing to capture the complexity of the emotions she was wrestling with. As she approached the meeting spot, a threatening growl echoed through the air. Panic seized her, urging her to hurry. When she arrived, the scene unfolded before her eyes. There, face to face with Sia, was a menacing Black Panther, circling him with deadly intent. Instinct took over as Polisa transformed into her true nature, a serpent with scales that shimmered like moonlit water. She attacked the panther swiftly, ensuring it retreated into the darkness. However, as she turned to face Sia, the terror on his face shattered her heart into pieces. She wanted to explain, to tell him he was safe, but the words caught in her throat. Tears streamed down Polisa's face as she listened to Sia's footsteps echoing further and further away. This wasn't the way she wanted things to end, but a bitter acceptance settled within her. It was better this way. Gathering herself, Polisa knew she had to leave, to disappear before the ancient hunters caught wind of her presence. Making her way to the sanctuary of Snake Island, she replayed the events that led to this heartbreaking moment. As she arrived at a fishing village, seeking guidance, she approached a fisherman who was retiring for the day. "Sir, I am looking for a place called Snake Island," she said, masking the turmoil in her eyes. Olu's eyes widened in surprise. "You are the second person to ask me about this place this month. The island is becoming popular," he remarked. "Maybe I will also visit soon," he said with a laugh. Little did he know, the waters were listening and were already weaving his fate. "My advice to you is, do not go, it is dangerous. But if you must, you will need a canoe. Hurry. The man who sells them will be closing soon," Olu warned with a kindness in his voice. "Snake Island is straight down the river. Once the water color changes from blue to green, you're almost there," he explained. Polisa, unable to afford a canoe, retreated to the quiet side of the river, transforming into her true self. Swiftly swimming, she hesitated when the water changed to a glowing green. This was it, she thought, a mix of fear and determination coursing through her. Upon arriving at Snake Island, she was welcomed by a congregation of snakes of all types. The queen of the island greeted her with a smile, declaring, "Welcome, you are safe now." The ensuing celebration was invigorating, yet at the back of her mind, Polisa couldn't shake the haunting question of what would become of Sia, the man who had once brought love and joy into her life. Unbeknownst to Polisa, the hunters had arrived at the village, questioning Sia about the mysterious beast he had encountered in the forest. Meanwhile, the queen of the island cast a suspicious glance at Polisa, sensing a brewing storm on the horizon. Despite her concerns, the queen decided to set aside the inquiry for the time being, and allowed the celebration to proceed. Polisa, unaware of the unfolding events, was finally home. And that, my dear tribe members, is the love story of Polisa, the snake girl, and Sia, the man. In the context of the story, an African proverb that resonates with the theme of acting in your own individual interest, rather than that of a community is, "The ruin of a nation begins in the homes of its people." This proverb underscores the idea that actions at the individual level can contribute to larger consequences. In Polisa's case, her carelessness might endanger not only herself, but also the community of the snake people, and the haven they have created for themselves. What lessons did today's story teach you? Your comments spark fascinating discussions, and I make an effort to respond to each one. If you're new here, welcome to our Snake Island series, and to the Tales of the Savannah. Check out the links in the video descriptions for the earlier tales in this series. As always, thank you for watching our story about a man falling in love with a snake girl, and we hope you enjoyed it. What lessons did you draw from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of the tribe. Thank you for watching The Tales of the Savannah. We will see you next time, in the Savannah.